Today's video is all about PYTH. We're going to be doing a deep dive into this project today, looking into the team, the tokenomics, the utility, and the overall value proposition, and much more. We're trying to figure out if this project has what it takes to make it to our portfolio for the up and coming bull run. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities. And the question is PYTH the opportunity? Guys, we're going to be looking into this project, doing a bit of a deep dive, looking at some of the details with regards to what makes this project bullish. Should we be holding it for the up and coming bull run? Do we need something like this in our portfolio? All right, guys, let's begin. We're going to be looking at the website as our main platform to navigate this project. Obviously, we could critique the project website at the same time, figuring out if it does offer all the value, all the necessary information for a person to, get bullish pretty much. All right, so let's read some of this. Let's see what's going on here. Secure smart contracts with reliable, low latency market data from institutional sources, build apps with high fidelity Oracle feeds designed for mission critical systems. All right, so in summary, this is an Oracle. Okay, it's an Oracle. So if you understand the way smart contracts work, the reality is smart contracts become even smarter when it is provided data, when there's a data feed that gets put into the contract. For example, let's say that you want your contract to know the price of Bitcoin at any given moment. We need some sort of Oracle, we need some sort of data feed to give our contract that information. Now, as we are noticing that, a lot of the layer ones that are coming out nowadays are looking for speed, they're looking for scalability, they're trying to solve the trilemma. But at the end of the day, it's the oracles that give these smart contract platforms, the layer ones, the intelligence to call it a really smart contract, right? Smarter data for smarter contracts. So PYTH is providing an opportunity for these contracts to become smarter. So let's look into this in a little bit more detail. Let's see what it has here. Real-time market data, anytime, anywhere. Of course, that is a very important thing. The real-time, meaning the speed, it's going to be pretty much instant. And of course, that's what real-time really means. And of course, the contracts will be able to run a lot faster. And this is some of the things that the latest dApps in today's Web3 environment require, they need. So we have including Jane Street, CBOE, Binance, OKX, and Bybit contribute data to the network. Guys, there's a big ecosystem here based on a lot of contributors of data, and you can see 450 plus data feeds, great stuff, 300 plus apps, 50 blockchains. So this is something that's really important, because instead of focusing on one blockchain, for example, let's say Ethereum, what their focus is on all the other blockchains that are also really quick, that also need data. So this is a really good thing. Market data to power their DeFi ecosystem. Developers can now choose the ecosystem they like, and PYTH will obviously give them the support they need. 90 million plus updates. Pretty good. You can see this is a data feed right here, and this data feed obviously requires some sort of Oracle to bring this data feed in. Let's continue going here. Data you can trust. I think that's one of the major value propositions here. Of course, first party data, very little middlemen in between from the source to the PYTH network, which is obviously a good thing, because it's a lot more trustworthy. Obviously, you can see we have Binance, OKX, and others that are part of the financial industry, whether it be crypto or traditional. We definitely do have some major players in here for all the data providers. So good stuff. Data you can trust. Every feed on every chain. Guys, this is interoperability. This is what we've been looking at in the last little while. A lot of these chains find value for the cross-chain, the ability to work together, the ability to allow developers to deploy applications on multiple blockchains without that friction, without that red tape, right? So broadening the ecosystems. And we can see here that we are available on Arbitrum, BNB, Optimism, Ethereum, EVM compatible, on Cosmos, and so on. There's so much happening here with all these different chains, and 50 plus supported blockchains. Bullish, bullish, bullish. I think this is forward thinking. I think this is exactly what we need going forward. So guys, I kind of like this concept. You guys know that I like the interoperability plays. Data on demand, that has a lot to do with, again, the speed. We need this to have, we have synthetics up in here that is using, and we got a lot of applications that are already using PYTH and that are behind the scenes that we don't even really know about. Building effortless with powerful APIs. Guys, if you're a developer and you understand what an API is, essentially it is support. It's support for developers to create applications so they can access functions that are exclusive to PYTH. And at the end of the day, that is the support that we need to see a thriving ecosystem. If you want to see an ecosystem thrive, the developers need to be supported. So thumbs up for this. I appreciate that. Trusted by innovators. Of course, we got some Zeta. We have, what else? We have Solend, Venus, Open Ribbon. We've seen this hanging around doing very well in the last little while. Synthetics, of course, we know what that's all about. Guys, some good players here, some good names, and obviously we have some good, individuals speaking up here on their use case of the PYTH network. So good stuff. I like these connections, this overall ecosystem, but not only an ecosystem or partnerships, but relationships that they have with the broader community. So that's really good. What's new with PYTH? We definitely have some blog posts on Bloomberg and so on and so forth. But what would be really nice is a roadmap. Guys, an official roadmap here on this website would make it really, really good. Now, of course, it's not really available. There's no real roadmap. And unfortunately, guys, I'm going to have to say it, but it would be nice to hold the team accountable with times and dates and so far. So a bit of a trajectory where this project is going in the immediate short term, whether it be marketing efforts or just overall improvements, but which categories and so on and so forth. So we really need roadmaps nowadays, just to give an idea of where this project is going. And blog posts on Forbes, Fortune, Medium, wherever it is not enough. We need clear roadmaps nowadays to be a bit more transparent. So how PYTH works, you can click away here and get some information. It's an Oracle, of course. We understand what that means at this point. What is an on-demand? Of course, on-demand real quick. Push model. You can read into the tech and exactly how it works, but really it's a data feed that enters the smart contract. What is the PYTH? Is it different from Solana? Again, Solana is the layer one. It's the chain, and PYTH Net is totally different. Note that PYTH's Oracle program runs simultaneously on both Solana mainnet and PYTH Net. So it's also built on, it's also on the Solana network. This is why a lot of people that are into the Solana ecosystem and believe in this Solana ecosystem or this Solana chain appreciate what PYTH has to offer. How does PYTH use Wormhole? These are a lot extra little pieces of information that you might be interested in, guys. Go check it out. Cost structure and so on. Get started with PYTH data. If you want to get involved, get in touch. There's some links here, and obviously here in the footer we got a lot of other links, benchmarks if you want to look into some data, publishers, consumers, node providers. Obviously you can become a node in the sense that you can be a staker. You can be a staker and earn rewards, which is a good thing if you're interested in that value proposition or that utility behind the PYTH token. And what else do we have? Documentation, media room, developers. If you're a developer, you can get in there and get some more information. As brand, okay, data driven, contact. We don't have much here with regards to the team. We'll talk about the team in a second. Let's see what else we could kind of get through here. This is what I found. I found this, which is some sort of documentation, which I found interesting. We can talk about a little bit about the token itself, the distribution, the tokenomics. For a lot of us, that's an important deal. Why? Because we get to understand the economy behind the PYTH token. Why do we need a PYTH coin? It's not, why do we need that exactly? What value proposition does it have to offer? And are there any weaknesses in the tokenomics? We can see that right now, since November 23, 15% of PYTH is already in circulating supply, okay? And the remaining supply, which is 85%, is locked up in a vesting period, in the vesting schedule. 6, 18, 30, and 42 months, which means that ultimately it's going to take a few years to get this totally basically fully diluted. And that means that we don't have to really worry about major token unlocks all at once that are going to dilute the price quickly. You have to understand too that we are in a very, very bullish trend in this market currently, and we do see that the bull run is definitely full-fledged. We're getting to that level where bull run prices are definitely going to keep on going to higher levels, and at this point I'm not expecting dilution regardless. Even if there is a token unlocked, who's going to be selling in a strong, healthy bull run? It's very likely that if there are any token unlocks in the immediate short term, that we are going to expect individuals to hold, right? So as we can see, little by little, we have PYTH lockup schedule, different private sale. I wish I could zoom in here. Let's see if this kind of gets bigger. I can't do that right now at the moment, but no big deal. Private sale, we can see protocol development, ecosystem growth, and all these categories are listed right here. This is how the tokens are going to be distributed to the community. And generally speaking, you can see the overall distribution here. Public rewards, 22%, ecosystem growth, 52%. Guys, that's pretty bullish. In my opinion, of course, a big believer in the ecosystem, and the ecosystem provides utility for a token, and then ultimately the token increasing in value based on that utility. For me, that's bullish. Investing in the back end in the ecosystem growth, in my opinion, is a smart move. Publisher rewards, of course, individuals that are involved in publishing data and all this, obviously they need to be rewarded. Contributing data to the ecosystem was good. Protocol development, again, more development for the overall project is actually quite bullish. And ultimately, the community and the launch only 6%, and the private sale only 10%. Now we have to understand, obviously, there's early stakeholders that want to get involved into the project, and we got approximately 16% of those individuals, which is very, very small. The majority of the tokens, as you can see, belong to the protocol development, ecosystem growth, and publisher rewards, all very back-end like type of liquidity that is going to be poured into these individuals, which is really interesting to me. I value that ultimately. And one thing that I also value is that this project is governed by a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization, which means that even the rewards and all the decision making with regards to these tokens are going to have to be governed by the voting system of the DAO, which is a really good sense of decentralization, and ultimately something that I do value, especially when we're using proof of work type of proof of stake type of ecosystems. Okay, so pretty good here, not bad. Publisher rewards, you can see you get a bit more details as the vesting periods, unlock periods for the publisher rewards, and so on. A lot more details, but you can see that ultimately it's going to take some time to see the fully diluted market cap actually get it there. The fully dilution of all the tokens taking a significant amount of time, 42 months at minimum. Okay, so this is what we're looking at. Total supply is 10 billion. We'll talk about the metrics in a little while. And then ultimately, we do have some token addresses that we can take a look at. We have Solana, Ethereum, a lot of addresses, a lot of contracts deployed on many of the major layer ones at the current moment. And if you click in here, you're going to see the token distribution. Let's open this one and let's open this one. Ethereum and Solana. Okay, let's use the Solana one, for example. We're going to be here on Solana FM, and we can let this load a little bit. Let's see what goes on here. You get all the distribution. If you want to go into the distribution, you can see all the token holders. And I do see on Solana that we do have a big all remaining holders, and we do see the top 10. Let's just focus on the top 10 holders right here. If you add it all up, it's quite a bit. Now we don't know what type of holders these are, where this liquidity or these tokens are and the supply is. But ultimately, if it's in the general market's hands, and you start adding it up, the 10% holds quite a bit of tokens. Okay, so we have to understand that there's a bit of distribution that still needs to happen here, and a lot of the distribution is going to happen as people become profitable. People will be taking profits, and then we'll see these tokens distributed amongst many wallets once that happens. So bit by bit, we got to understand that generally speaking, PYTH is fairly new in this sense. We saw the token run up significantly in the last little while. It got listed on many exchanges, which we'll talk about in a second. So there's definitely a lot of liquidity across the market. And if we get into Ethereum, let's see what's going on here. And we go to holders. And then we start, if you want to look at the token chart, you can see that we do have some protocol distributors that are holding up a bunch of the tokens and as they get released into the market, and then the rest of them 7%, 3%, 2%. This is a lot more healthier. You can see the token distribution, the wallet distribution to be a little bit more healthy. But nonetheless, guys, you know, I do see the issue here with I would like to see a little this to be a little bit more distributed over many wallets. But again, this is the name of the game. When you get new projects coming out, a lot of them, you know, a lot of early investors, a lot of individuals are holding because they believe in the project, and of course they're going to buy a lot of it if they do. And this is when we want to see some of the profit taking happen. Okay, so just keep that in mind. It's not too bad, you know, wallet distribution is not too bad. It's still pretty good. I wouldn't really worry about it at the current moment. But of course, do a bit more research, dig around a little bit more. All right, let's go back to the main website again. What else do we got here? We were looking at the contact. I couldn't find anything about the team. So let's jump into the team concept. I would have loved to see that they have a couple of links here, you know, just spelling out who the team is, right? We want to know who's behind this project, right? Now, I know it's a DAO. I know it's a decentralized autonomous organization, you know, but at the end of the day, we would like to know who's driving this force. And ultimately, you know, a LinkedIn account is really great. You can definitely click this LinkedIn account, LinkedIn link. It will take you to their PYTH Network LinkedIn, which is right here. If you start clicking around, you're not going to get much information. It's all private, which unfortunately you do get a few names here and there. This guy has an open account. Too often you think too strong. Okay, Mark Degen. Well, we don't know exactly who he is and what he's about. You know, I'm assuming right now this is the CEO. That's what basically we get from the research that I've done. CEO of Dauro Labs, which is pretty much PYTH, right? Let's go into this for a second. CEO of Dauro Labs, basically proud. Let's see what we got here. We got contact info, and he has a good track record. As you can see, he has Jump Crypto, decent track record, sales, FX holdings, Globe Markets, FX sales, Jump Crypto, and then he gets to PYTH Data Association and Chief Executive Officer of PYTH. You know, it's not bad. You know, obviously, I would love to see a little bit more of the individuals that are on the team that are providing a lot of alpha to the team and a lot of good stuff. More transparency would be great, because then you get a lot more bullish and interested in what the team has to offer as far as its connections and its track record history and all that good stuff. But really, you know, it's not fully doxed. Although we do get a name, I would like to know a little bit more. So ultimately, that's a bit of a drawback in my book. I put a lot of value in the team lately because, again, we want to know which talent is behind the team. You know, promises are great, but I would like to know it for myself and, you know, kind of dig around a little bit. So that's one of the critiques that I got there. What else do we got? We got some good stuff here. Let's see what this is. What is PYTH? If you're looking for information, guys, this is not bad. And what I really like about this article here, it's on the PYTH Network blog, is that it basically spells out why do we need another Oracle. So basically it's speed. I think that's the biggest issue here. The biggest idea here is that as the layer ones become quicker and quicker and quicker, and the dApps require that speed, we want low latency. We want quick data feeds, right? So oracles were not updating fast enough for many financial use cases. So this is where PYTH solves the problem. Remember, software development is all about identifying a problem, and the software solution comes to follow. Usually you get a lot of good success. Coverage and availability. Developers did not have access to the price fees they needed, especially with the multitude of chains out there. You want to have your oracles available for any chain that you choose. So really important for me for that multi-chain, you know, interoperability and multi-chain ecosystems that we have, or multi-chain environment that we have. Sourcing the quality. So this is where they're at again. They ensure quality of their data feed. You know, they want to make sure that it's accurate and not tampered with or anything like that. So for me, that's also a good thing. How PYTH works, you can get into that. You can see there's a lot of middlemen and legacy oracles, you know, bouncing around data from one to the next. And then all of a sudden you have PYTH that goes from PYTH aggregation to exchanges to traders. And that's about it. So straight away, less middlemen, quicker, and less chance of, you know, basically manipulation or anything like that. So pretty good. Ultimately, many components here to make this thing happen, many chains, a lot of data providers and the protocol, a lot of data users, a lot of good information, guys. I would dig through that if you're interested in it. Obviously, PYTH is a great project. This decent. Guys, honestly, it was a very easy project to research because a lot of it is straightforward. And that's one thing that I appreciate about the clarity. In all these tabs, they give you a little bit more information, like if you want to meet the PYTH users, and this is the ecosystem. So let's click that. Let's open in a new tab. Let's click this. And I think those two are good. If you kind of go here, you can see meet the teams powered by PYTH. So we have TradingView, Synthetics, Venus. We got heavyweight names right here. We have Quenta. We have Polynomial, Helium, we know that one, Drift Protocol, and Zeta. That's an up and coming that I've seen a lot of good things about. And then we can keep on going down. You see a lot of major players here, a lot of good Alpha Lab. We got some good ones hanging around here. So what we really need to do is understand that as the layer ones take on PYTH and they start using it, we're gonna have a lot of utility here, guys. Look, Bitmart's all over it, obviously providing data and having that relationship, and the list goes on, guys. A lot of good relationships, not just strategic partnerships, but relationships. Let's look at this. Meet our visionaries. Again, 90 others in becoming a data publisher. So these are publishers of the data. We have Amber. A lot of these are unknown to regular individuals, but Binance is definitely there. We have the Bitmart, Bitbank, a Bitstamp. We know that Bybit. There's a lot of good Chili's. There's a lot of good relationships here that could drive the price a lot higher. These relationships should be long lasting. Why? Because I don't expect them going anywhere. Okay, so we talked about the overall ecosystem. Tokenomics are good. The vesting period. We talked about the fact that the team, the website is good. It's decent. We need a roadmap. You guys know that I release a infographic every time I do one of these deep dives. So let's take a look at this. Let's see what's going on here. We are seeing that ultimately PYTH Network has some great things going for it. Okay, so the ecosystem is definitely one of them. 100 data providers, 450 price feeds, 300 integrated dApps, 10 out of 10 for me. Utility, staking, and governance on the DAO. So there wasn't much information there, but you could dig around and find it if you really wanted to. The white papers has a lot of details and all of that, but the website is so well built that you can get a lot of information just from that. The utility is definitely there if you're just interested in staking and getting rewarded and being a participant of the DAO, where you can make some vote, you can vote onto some decision making. The roadmap, no real roadmap, announcements and blog posts. That's all you got to rely on pretty much. The Discord, I went on the Discord to see if there was anything, and they sent me to some links to dig and hunt down information. Guys, when I get a Discord group or a website or anything that requires for me to dig, it throws me off. Ultimately, why would a team want me to have to dig? Give me the info that I need up in front and center, get my research done quick, give me that confidence, and let me move on, right? You shouldn't want me to dig. You got 15 seconds to hold my attention, and after that, I start looking for other things to look at, right? So roadmap needs to be provided, and ultimately, wherever it is, we shouldn't be relying on blog posts and announcements on a Discord to give the community an idea of where we're going, okay? So, and even if you do a quick search on the Discord, a lot of people are looking for a roadmap. And the same with the team. The team is somewhat doxed. We get a little bit of an idea of who the CEO is, but a little bit more transparency would be good with regards to the entire team. The CEO does have experience in crypto. It seems somewhat limited, but still okay. Again, transparency would be epic. And it's very difficult to assess the team, in this case, the people that are driving the overall project. So again, 7 out of 10 over there. The socials are quite interesting, given the fact that they have 226,000 followers on X, but in the last 30 days on both followers and posts, the initiatives that they've been putting forward on X have been coming down approximately 30%, which means that they're losing a bit of steam internally. I don't know what's happening there. They need to keep on posting, engaging with the community. I did see that the price has been going up in the last little while, so maybe they feel like it's no need because they're picking up steam. But generally speaking, guys, the community is the one that's going to keep on driving the the price to the upside. And I like when I see continuous, consistent activity on the social. So we're seeing the follower count drop a little bit in the last 30 days in comparison to the previous 30 days. And we're seeing the amount of posts, the post 281 posts in the last 30 days, but down 27% in comparison to the previous 30 days. So we need to be consistent here. I'll give it an 8 out of 10 because they're hitting good numbers and they're still pushing out 281 posts in 30 days. But still, why are we slowing down? What's going on here? But nonetheless, bullish. I'm good. Tokenomics, 10 out of 10. Great vesting schedule to give us a bit of confidence with the dilution. 8 years of to become fully diluted. That 85% of the remaining tokens are going to take 8 years to actually enter the market, guys. So don't worry about the fully diluted market cap at this current moment. We see that it's quite high, obviously, but nonetheless, to reach that point, it's going to take some time. So don't worry about it being totally overvalued in the current landscape, because really we're in a bull run. Everything is kind of flying right now. So we got to take it easy and understand the overall marketplace at the current state. Healthy token distribution, of course, we know how the vesting period is going to unlock the distribution, unlock the tokens into distribution. And we also see that the wallets are fairly balanced. Of course, as a new project, we see that some of the wallets are a bit heavy, but of course we're taking in consideration that there's some early investors that believe in the project and bought big bags nice and early. So what could we expect? Partnerships, we have MakerDAO. There are many relationships here, guys. Tons and tons of relations, strategic partnerships, not so strategic, but however good for ecosystem growth and so on and so forth. Some of the ones that I found quite interesting are MakerDAO, Ondo Finance, which is picking up pace, and Nomura's Laser Digital, which is basically a part of the traditional banking sector, which I find to be very important given the fact that we need data even from our traditional sectors, right? So 10 out of 10 for the partnerships and exchanges, guys. Either you're going to look at this as a great opportunity or not a great opportunity. PYTH is listed on all major exchanges pretty much. We have Binance, KuCoin, Bitget, Mexi, and many more. And I give it a 10 out of 10 because the liquidity is there, guys. If you want to sell, buy and sell, if you make some great gains on PYTH, you know you can go on one of these exchanges and pretty much get it liquid. However, guys, don't expect any major exchange listings in the immediate short term, given the fact that, look, we got a lot of them already listed. So being Binance, one of the major ones at the current moment. So 10 out of 10 overall. A lot of good opportunities for liquidity, of course, and I wouldn't be expecting obviously any other major listings in the immediate short term. Now, if we start looking at the metrics, again, the market cap is 1.5 billion. It's still fairly large, but in comparison to other oracles, it's still got a bit of room to grow. We'll talk about that in a second. The trading volume is massive, guys, and I'm telling you, it's the 39% trading volume, guys, is showing us a good amount of strength here of the utility, the use case. People are using it, networks are using it, so which is good, a good sign of utility. Supply 1.5 billion, 15% is out there in circulation already, and at $1 mark, this is why the market cap is pretty much equal. Max supply 10 billion. It's supposed to be 10 billion tokens, if I'm not mistaken, and all of a sudden we have 10 million. We have a fully diluted 9.8 billion evaluation. But guys, don't worry about that, because at the end of the day, we have a vesting period that totally locks up the price, the coins over time. So it's not going to dilute the price so quick, and it doesn't look overvalued because that mark is going to take some time to hit. Okay, so think about it like that. Oracle data feeds for fast layer ones, guys. That's a great value proposition. Honestly, that's a great utility. I think that's a up and coming forward thinking idea. Real-time data updates, really interesting. Broad asset coverage, of course, with the multi-chain concept and the high fidelity, quick. That's what we need, and quality. Governed by the DAO, increases the decentralization of the project, which we know is very important, especially if you're going to be a proof of stake type of blockchain. You want to have some DAO, something governing the tokens that are in circulation and the decision making that really has. Little information on the team. Unfortunately, guys, you know how I put a lot of value on who's the driving force behind a project, and right now there's not much, limited information, but still there is some. So 50-50 there pretty much on the team. I would like to know more so I can get so bullish on who's driving this project. Official roadmap needs to be provided on the website, guys. A website should have everything we need, information on the team, the roadmap, and all that good stuff, so that we can get bullish. PYTH with the market cap of Chainlink, guys. This was a tough one because really they're competitors, and of course a lot of us love Link, including myself. We know what Link is. We know Link has been around. We're basically Chainlink has been one of the major players in the Oracle space for years, right? And all of a sudden we have some competition, which is obviously finding gaps in the market, finding opportunities in the market, and providing some solutions to those gaps and those issues. And PYTH is, of course, is trying to tackle speed. And if PYTH can take some of the market cap, or at least catch up to the market cap of Link, we're looking at a 7x. Now, it doesn't seem like a lot. I get it. And I totally understand why, because the market cap is already big, guys. We're already looking at a $1.5 billion market cap. So we got to understand there's not much growth there. But this evaluation is based on the fact that Link, including PYTH, haven't really got to the top of the bull run, which means that if you look at the total market cap of the crypto space, we're still under $3 trillion. If we continue growing and going into this rally and to the bull market top, it's very likely that we see a total market cap of the crypto space reach about $5 trillion, which means that not only are we going to potentially catch up to Link, but we can go up even a little bit higher. And given its utility, and given that an Oracle is pretty much, layer ones are dependent on Oracles to make their smart contracts even smarter. Guys, the utility is there. The dependency on these Oracles are there. So I expect a lot of utility. I expect, PYTH to be offering its services to a lot of chains, and, because of its multi-chain capabilities. The price target, I would say if we reach between $7 and $10, guys, that would be a great target. That could be a good, 6, 7, maybe up until 10x potential opportunity for PYTH. I would be looking for market signals of tops before I actually exit. But still, guys, keep an idea, around $10, between $6, $7 to $10 is somewhere around the ballpark where I would be starting to get a defensive on my gains, because definitely looking really good. Guys, I give it a 9 out of 10 here, a 9 out of 10 for PYTH, because ultimately I think it's great. All right, guys, let's take a look at some of the price action. I know you're here to talk about charts as well, so take a look at PYTH. What's going on here with PYTH? It got a bit of a rejection in the last little while. In fact, the market in general today is not looking the greatest. Bitcoin's coming down ever so slightly, and we're seeing the rest of the crypto space, the altcoins as well, coming down for a bit of a retracement, looking at about 5 to 10% today, another 5%, about 5 to 10% pretty much yesterday, and this is a bit of the negativity that we've been seeing in the market. So ultimately, PYTH has been coming down with this blow off top type of looking candle. Let's look at this in a little bit more detail. You can see that ultimately the trend has been our friend for a good while here with PYTH. Entries down here on these green arrows have definitely been great. We've seen good de-risking opportunities, take a bit of profits off the top. We broke out of some good levels of resistance right here at about 50 cents, and we started moving to the upside here and reached a nice ground number psychological level of $1. And as we speak, we can see that we're getting rejection. Guys, I've been doing this deep dive for the last little while. The numbers are going to be off just a little bit because of the volatility, but I get it. We're right around that $1 mark. Right now we're hovering around 93 cents, pulling back to lower levels. Now, where can I expect support? To be honest, let's reuse some of these arrows. To be honest, the absolute bottom of the barrel price where we could expect to see the price hit is all the way down here, right? All the way down to back to about 50 cents, which is the breakout zone. Look at the volume profile. A lot of volume into here to act as support. We got previous highs, previous lows, a lot of price action here to basically give us that confidence that we could get that support. The oversold conditions on the RSI, pretty much bearish divergence so far. You can see that huge blow off top. If you're using candlestick analysis, guys, this doesn't look good. Blow off top, pretty much quick rejection, and if it closes like that by the end of the day, it's not looking good. Okay, so that could be the indication that we're ready to come down to lower levels. Now all of a sudden we see the bearish divergence, obviously on the RSI. On the daily, we're looking at the daily at the current moment, and we see the MACD is still looking okay, but we know that the MACD is a lagging indicator. So is the RSI, but the MACD seems to lag a lot more, so meaning that this is not reflecting the price action just yet. EMAs are still facing up. Green green histogram bars are still there? Do we get an EMA cross and start coming down? Guys, we still have yet to see exactly what's going to happen. I'm expecting a bullish response here on this price action. Obviously, it has to be led by Bitcoin. We got to see Bitcoin get a bounce and then potentially see some of these altcoins recuperate. But as we speak, we do see a bit of negativity into PYTH. Now, again, my bearish price target here on the daily, as can be seen, is down here at 50 cents. Why? There's a lot of empty volume here. Empty gap, which means that if we fall below about 85 cents, we can snap to about 70, 68 really quickly. And then we have some support. If we do not hold support here, we can snap to a lot lower levels here. And because ultimately we have a lot of supply and demand for support here, I'm going to have a lot more confidence here. But we can definitely pay attention to the horizontal supports along the way, one of which is here, and one of which could be around here, where I would be looking at lower time frames, not the daily. If we came down to these levels, I would be looking for oversold conditions. If it's the daily, great, right? Fine. Oversold on the daily, we start getting in, we start looking for bullish divergence, but I truly feel that it's quite unlikely to get oversold if we get to this level. It's very likely that we will want the 4 hour to show us oversold conditions first, and we might get those oversold conditions maybe at the top of this volume gap or maybe at the bottom of this volume gap. So let's see what's going on here, because if we get support at the top of this volume gap, eventually this could be just a regular retracement for consolidation for another bull flag to the upside, and that would be super bullish. So let's wait for the 4 hour to get oversold. Let's wait for the MACD to get down here again and get another EMA cross to the upside with, some more green histogram bars, or let this open up and continue to the upside here on the MACD, because right now the MACD looks like it wants to roll over. It looks like it wants to get another cluster of red histogram bars down here, but it could quickly open again like it has done in the past right here and continue to the upside. So what we really got to do is give it a bit of time here so that we can get bullish or bearish and form a structure. What we want to do is form a structure on the lower time frames. If we're gonna break below 82 cents, it doesn't look good, guys, and it starts to look like we're going to be looking for some support at lower levels, maybe 68 like I mentioned, right around here, or maybe as low as 50. We got to wait for oversold conditions at minimum on the 4 hour, guys, before we act upon anything. Let some data present itself so we can come up with a plan. Guys, I'm going to be live tonight at 7:30 Eastern talking about crypto news and price action. So feel free to join me, and definitely we can take a look at some of the projects you are interested in, and we'll put them in top priority. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Guys, feel free to join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.